Well, their Champions League chances? Yeah, I'm obviously worried. They're last place right now in the group of death. So you should be worried because there's very good teams in front of them. Obviously, Dortmund got a surprise win at Newcastle. PSG, even though they took a thumping to Newcastle, very much in the driver's seat. So you should be worried. Milan's the only team that's not even scored a goal in their group. So you should be worried. But let me tell you why this goes beyond the Americans being worried. Like, Christian Pulisic's been one of the better players this season for Milan. He's their leading goal scorer right now. He was, besides Mignao, the goalkeeper, he was their best player. He's Milan's best player against PSG. That means very little in a game you lose by 3 goals. So, but he was their best player. That's a reality. Yunus Musa, I think he's exceeded expectations. They both have, but Yunus especially in terms of how much I thought he would play and where he would play. He seems to have really gotten or earned Stefano Pioli's trust, and he plays in multiple positions. So he's a player that's been trustworthy for Pioli. But when it comes to Milan, their problems stem much more than what they mean for the Americans. We're talking about a team that's not scored in the last 5 Champions League games. The 2-game series versus Inter in the semifinal last season, and 3 group stage games this season. And I'll tell you what, when you watch each and every one of their games, they shoot themselves in the foot. First game against Newcastle, they completely dominate Newcastle at home. Should have beat them 4-0, maybe 3-4-0. They can't put the ball in the back of the net. Rafael would not stop missing. He would not stop making difficult errors in front of the goal. It's just been that type of thing. PSG, a team that's completely transitioned, that plays a 4-2-4, Luis Enrique, and you want to press him in a way where if they bypass that press, you've got 4 guys running at your 4 defenders, and it's a one-way track meet with some of the best players in the world like Kylian Mbappe. Of course it's going to hurt you. They've been shooting themselves in the foot. So it goes much more beyond than the Americans and how it fares for them in this Champions League. It's a growing trend.
Herc, it's one thing if you finish 3rd. If you finish 4th, you miss out on Europa League. So that would worry me because you want these guys playing in at least some type of European football. You want them getting that international experience, especially a guy like Musa. And I think between the two, if this is headed towards a Champions League failure, which if you look at it right now, it does look pretty bleak for Milan, I'd be more worried about him because I think his spot is quite obviously in terms of the starting lineup, it's less solid, right? We know they got plenty of guys in the midfield that are coming back soon. And when that quality returns, it was always going to be tough for him to hold on to a spot. But had Milan gotten off to a very strong start in Champions League, you know how it is for coaches. It's always tough to make changes when things are working out. At this point, maybe they're not working out, and so you worry. On the play that everybody's talking about right there in the second half, it's obviously such a key moment in the game. The game very much still hangs in the balance. How big a mistake was that from Pulisic not to take it himself? That
was the mistake. It was the cleanest, clearest chance that they had, and you want to see him be selfish. Listen, Rafael's been more than selfish this season. It's a play that you have to at least test the goalkeeper. It's more difficult of a play to try to pass it on with the way it's bouncing and the angle, and 2, you're trying to play to Oliver Giroud into space, than it would be to take a shot coming off the bounce with pressure on your back, who all strikers dream about. It's one of those plays that if I'm there, if you're there, anybody's there, your eyes get big. You dream about a situation like that where the ball's sitting up for you, and Christian Pulisic decided to dish it off, decided to give it to Oliver Giroud. You got to take that.
Yeah, there it is. So Christian Pulisic and Yunus Musa, part of the AC Milan 11 that falls 3-0 to PSG in Champions League play.